Offline students don't join, okay? Offline students don't join, only online. Online, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now all of you observe here. What is the type of CP? Will you say that 6,000 or 4,000? That is a address. What is the type? Cargo plane is the type. So here something will be there. Forget about it. Next, in a similar way, second one I'll create. What is the type of PP here? Means I'm creating a passenger plane type reference to store the passenger plane type object. Okay, next in a similar way here. FP will be there, pointing here. Now you tell me what is the type of FP? 5,000. Fighter plane. Yes. So what I can tell you is, for storing some class, some object, you are creating same class, same object type reference. For dog type object, for storing dog type object, what type of reference will create? D is the reference name. Dog is the type. Yes or no? For storing cat type object, what type reference will we create? Cat type. For storing car type, what type reference will create? Car type. This we call it as type of object. You will create same. For loose coupling, what we will do is same class will be there. Do you remember main method? What we have written for this class in main method? Do you remember? You don't remember? What we have written? We have created an object of cargo plane. We have created an object of passenger plane. We have created an object of fighter plane, and we have called respective methods. Yes or no? As of now, you just assume that same program it is, but this is not there. This is not there. Here, carry passengers is not there. Here, carry arms is not there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This much is only there. Which means I have written this much. This is what we call it as tight coupling. This is what we call it as tight coupling. Now, how to make it loose coupling, sir? What I will do is, I'll create one parent type reference. Who is the parent here? Plane. So I'll create one plane type reference. Assume that I'll write plane type P. So here it is of type P. P is of type what? Plane. Now, next what, sir? Next what will happen? That reference is of type what? Parent class it is. Okay. At any point of time, okay, at any point of time, if I create a reference of any class, okay, you can store the address of its own object. Getting my point? Assume that my name is A. I will create an object of A, and I'll create a reference of A. Okay. Then in that A reference, what I can store? I can store my object type address. Assume that I'll create an object of me, and I can definitely store my address, because object is of type A and reference is also of type. Assume that my children are there. I'm having 2 children, you assume. Okay. Now, what we can do, I will create a reference of my type. Okay. You normally think and tell me, don't you think, if they address them without their name, is there any other way? Yes. That is Navin's son, or is Navin's daughter there. Okay. Using my parents, can we address my children? Using my parents, can we address my children? Yes. You think Normally you think you are having your grandparents. We will not tell the grandparents name to call you. What we will do? We will tell that he or she is granddaughter or grandson of that person. Yes or no? Means at any point of time, if you create object of, means if you create a reference of any particular class, okay, if you create a, I'm so sorry. Okay, let me repeat it. I'm just repeating it. Please listen. At any point of time, if there is any particular reference that you will create, okay, if there is one hierarchy, you assume A is your parent class, B, C, D is the children, and D is having E, F as a children. Okay, here this is the children, and here these two are the children. At any point of time, if I create an object of A, object you forget. If I create a reference of A, which all objects address I can store? A's object address, anyways I can store. Yes or no? If I create one reference variable, it is initially empty because have I stored anything? Inside plain P, have I stored anything? No. So it is initially empty. Next, what I am telling, if I create an object of plain only, and if I try to store it in P, can I store or not? Plain type object address, I can definitely store it. Forget about P. Reference I'm speaking. This we call it as reference. Okay. Now what I'm asking is, if I create, can I address B using A? Yes. Can I address A using A? Yes. I can directly call A. You are A. Even listen. Yes or no? Can I address B using A? Can I use C using A? Still yes. Can I address F using A? Yes. Can I address F using C? Is there a direct or is there a proper connection? Sir, sibling, no, sir. Sibling and all will not come in Java. Okay, only parent, child, grandchild, that you can say because multi-level inheritance is permitted, if you remember. Yes or no? How we can say? Means in simple words, assume that I'll create a reference of type A equals to new A. Can I write? Means what is happening? I'm creating an object of class A and I'm trying to store the address of A's object in A's reference. This is nothing but tight coupling. Next, what I'll do, this is anyways valid. Okay. Now, what I will do, I'll create an object of B and can I store it in A type A? Yes. How? That is what is loose coupling. At any point of time, if you create a reference variable of any type, be it any class, be it Naveen's class, okay, if you create a reference variable of Naveen type, then which all objects address you can store? Which all objects address? My address anyways you can store. Yes or no? If you create a reference variable of my type, you can store my object's address. True. Now there every object's address also you can store. Getting my point? All these days what we used to do? For my type object we used to create my type reference only. For my children type object we used to create my children type reference only. That we call it as tight coupling. Loose coupling means what? Creating a parent type reference to store child type object. Getting my point? Here is it same? Compare this one and this one. At any point of time, if you create reference variable of any particular class, which all objects you can store inside? All the child object which comes under, which comes below that. At any point of time, if I create a reference of B, I can store new B, I can store new E, I can store new also. In a similar way, if I create a reference of A, what all objects address I can store? Can I store in a reference variable of type A? Can I store the address of A object? Direct answer, it is tight coupling, yes. Can I store the address of B object? Can I store the address of C object? Can I store the address of C object? Yes. Can I store the address of grandchild? Getting my point? Can I store the address of F object? Yes. Getting my point? So what do you mean by loose coupling? Creating parent type reference to store the child type object. Address you can also say child type, address. This is just for your understanding. Again, I'm repeating. If I create a reference variable of any type, which all objects address I can store inside that? First is that one only. If I create a reference of my type, all the children which comes under me. Yes or no? Yes or no? If I want to, anyways, that example is fine. Here we'll come back. So now I've created the reference of plain type P. Have I stored anything as of now? No. Next, if I want to store, okay, now here previously what we were doing, CP dot. Here takeoff is there, fly is there, land is there. Why it came? Because from parent class it has been inherited. Directly we were calling. Yes or no? Now we will not call directly. What we will do? We will try to store plain type P. P is of type plain. Means plain is what? Parent class. Now what I will do? Can I write it like this? Plain type P. Yes or no? What I'm doing here? Child type object. Who is the child? Already I've created cargo plane object. Where it is? Already it has been created. I don't want to write it again. If you write it, it will work. So what I will do in CP, what will be there? Can anyone tell me? If you observe in CP, what is there? That address to this one. Equal to means what? Assignment operator. Whatever is there on right side, that will be copied to left side. What is there in CP? 4000 is there. Now in P, what will be there? 4000. Which means P is pointing to where? P is pointing to CP. P is pointing not to CP, rather P is pointing to same place where CP is pointing. Yes or no? So it is something like I am having my house address. My house address, I'll pass it to you. So where you are pointing? My house address. And same address, you will pass it to someone. You will pass. I'll not pass. I passed it to you, you pass to someone. Where they are pointing? To my house only. Where you are pointing? My house. Where I am pointing. What we call this term as? Copying the address of one variable to another variable. Have we done this anywhere? What is that? That we call it as reference type assignment. Where will it be used? In polymorphism, it will be used. Why we have taught that? Because in polymorphism, we will use it. That is the reason you should know reference type assignment. What is happening here? I'm copying the address of cargo plane object, that is CP reference, to P reference. P is of type plane. Getting my point? Now where your P is pointing? Wherever your CP is pointing, now P also will start pointing to same place. Now when you are pointing here, using CP, whatever is present here inside, when I am able to call. Now, P is also pointing to same place where C pointing. Don't you think I can call same old things using P now? Previously, this was not there. Am I right? Forget polymorphism. Previous concept. What we were doing? CP was pointing to here. Whatever is present in CP dot LAN. Yes. Now what I'm doing? I'm copying this address to P, which means P is pointing to same place where CP is pointing. Using CP, if I was able to call this, now, don't you think using P also I should be able to call? So what I will write? Take off P dot fly P dot land. Till now, you think and tell me where my P is pointing. Wherever your CP is pointing. Now I don't want my CP to point to that place. I mean, I don't want my P to point to same place where CP is pointing. I want my P to point to same place where my PP is pointing. So what I should do? As if you are thinking as if it is a rocket science. Normally you think and tell me P is pointing to same place where CP is pointing. I don't want that. What I want? I want my P to point to same place where my PP is pointing. Then what should happen? Which address I should change? Whose address I should change now? PP's address I should change. Whose address? P's address I should change. With what I should change?
PP address.
On 5,000 I want it here. Okay, which means what I'm trying to do, this should get cancelled. Okay, this should get cancelled. I want this P to point the same place where PP is pointing. Okay, using PP, if I'm able to access this, yes, using PP, I was able to access this previously. What we used to write? PP dot takeoff, PP dot fly, PP dot land. It was working or not? Yes. Now, my P is also pointing to same place where PP is pointing. Using PP, if I'm able to access, think yes or no? But to do that, before that, before doing that, what I'll write P dot that. Don't you think I want my P to point to here first? How to make it? Here, I want this address to be copied to here. Yes. Where this address is basically stored? In PP it is stored. This address I want to copy to where? Continuation part I'll write it here. Fine. Okay. What I should do in that P, I want to PP is pointing 5,000. Assume. Where your P is pointing, can I say P dot take off? Yes. P dot then land. Now my P is pointing to where? To the same place where your PP is pointing. Now I don't want this to point to here. Where it should point then? FP I want that to point. How can I make that point out time? Only one address. Now some of you will say, sir, 4,000 is also there or not, sir? It is not there. 4,000 is gone now. Now as of now, what is there? 5,000 is there. Next what? I don't want this to be present here. I want this one. Whatever is the address of FP, I'll copy that. Which means where your P is pointing now? It is not pointing to here anymore. It is pointing to same place where your FP is pointing. Because what I have said, whatever is the address of FP, copy that to P. And then if I am able to access whatever is inside using FP, don't you take off P dot fly P dot land. Yes or no? This is nothing but your polymorphism. But is it the complete polymorphism concept? No, not yet. There is few more things that you should. If you observe how to write this, and this. Can I say that same statement is being used here, as well as here? Yes. Yes. Same particular set of statements is giving me this or no? Assume that just like the way we have done here, assume that I'll create an object of cargo plane. Reference of cargo plane type CP. Can I store the address of passenger plane in that? If I create a reference of type cargo plane, can I store the address of passenger plane object?
No, sir.
Why? As I've already stored if and only if. Okay. If it is a parent type reference. In child for type object cargo plane type reference, will it work or not? Yes, we have already seen. For a cargo plane type object, if I try to create plane type reference, will it work? For a cargo plane type object, if I create plane type reference, that is what we have done. Plane type reference, it will work. At any point of time, if you create a plane type reference, whose all address I can store inside that plane type reference? Again, all of you are like all the child class. Can't we store plain type address? Who will tell that then? If I create a reference variable of plain class, whose all address I can store? First is plain objects address I can store, and then all the child classes of plain class I can store. You should not leave plain there, because that is what is tight coupling. Getting my point? Yes or no? Clear? Yes. But however, here I am considering only 3 methods. As of now, consider only 3 methods. But if you all get reduced, code reduction will happen. But don't you think in turn, code is getting increased? Here also, here also, here also. Yes or no? Basically, this is, you will be able to achieve flexibility. Flexibility means what? Loose coupling. What is the benefit of loose coupling if you ask me? Flexibility you will get. What do you mean by flexibility? You can store child type object address in parent type reference. That is one benefit. Okay. But code, is it getting reduced? No. In polymorphic version 1, you will get only one benefit. What is that? Flexibility, or you can also say it as loose coupling you will get. That is create storing child type object. No, as of now, till now, no. Getting my point? For that, what we should do? Go with polymorphic version 2. In 2, what we should do, that I will anyways teach you. But as not use specialized method, please don't, in previous program, what we have done of plane, we have considered carry cargo, carry passengers, and carry arms. That was a specialized method that you should not use here. Getting my point? Yes or no? Then how to deal with specialized methods, sir? How to deal with specialized methods, I'll tell you. But till here, is that clear? Quickly see the output at least, because you should do the same for animal class. Can I expect you to execute the program and send the output? Because that is not really difficult, I guess. Yes? Here. Just observe, this was the program that we have written previously. Yes? Not visible? Huh? Okay, join. Oh, sorry. Join करो सब लोग. Join. किसी का रिक्वेस्ट तो आया नहीं मेरा. सब लोग ज्वाइन हो गया. Co-host, host. Okay. Okay. So just observe here, this was the program that we have written previously. Yes. What I'm doing here? Creating a child type object and storing it in child type reference only. That we call it as tight coupling. Here also tight coupling, here also tight coupling. Using tight coupling, let us see once, are we going to get the output or not? Are we getting it? Yes, same 4, 4, 4. 3 out, I mean 12 statements I'm getting. Now what I will do here, plain type P. Plain type P. And then what I'll write? Initially, what is stored in your P? Nothing is stored. It is empty. I have just created a reference here. If you see, it is just a reference. Is it an object? Am I creating an object of P? No, it is just a next. What I'll do? What will get stuck now? Wi-Fi will go off. Online, am I audible? Or is anything visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is visible?
Your screen, sir.
P equals to CP I have written. Means what will happen?
Address of the CP copying to P.
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೋಬಾರ್ದು. ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಬಟ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. No issues. Here. P equal to CP means what? Address of CP object is being copied to plain type P reference. Okay, here I have written this. Next, if I am able to access it using CP, in place of CP, now I'll write P. P, and this statement I don't want only. Okay, and also I will remove okay. Next time, what I should do? All this time it is pointing to where? Plain, I mean P reference is pointing to same place where your CP is pointing. I don't want that to happen. What I want to happen? I want my P to point to same place where my PP is pointing. How to do it? P is having 6000 as an address. If you have doubt, okay, what I'll do? I'll just, all of you please observe carefully. I'll comment from here till here. Okay. Till here only it is working. Now what I will try to print, if you ask me, anyways, this output I'll get. Before getting this output also, I'll try to print, wait, just a minute. Sure. System.out.println. What I'll print? P I'll print. And then CP I'll print. Yes. Please check the output. Please check the output carefully. This is how address comes. Okay, those who don't know, whatever we are writing 4,000, 5,000, do you expect that 4,000, 5,000 will come as output? In memory, always it will be dealt with hexadecimal values. This address is nothing but hexadecimal. If you observe, both the address are same. Can you see? 36 BAF 30 C. Okay. Now for your understanding, is it really true, sir? What I'll do is, I'll copy these statements. What is happening? If you can observe, first time also it is showing cargo plane address only. Second time also it is showing cargo plane only. Yes or no? But what is first one? Plane type reference I'm printing. But what output I'm getting? I'm getting cargo plane type address. Why? Though you have created plane type reference, it is pointing to cargo plane type object. That is the reason. Clear? Okay. So now what I should do here? This one I don't want anyways. Okay. Next here, P should point to where? PP. That is nothing but passenger plane's address, whatever is there, 5,000 or whatever address, that address I'm copying to plane type P. That is reference P. Okay. Now if I try to print the address of P, what I'll get? See, for your understanding, what I'll do, wherever, okay, after this, I'll try to print system.out.println. Here I'll try to print P. Before this also, I'll try to print here. I'll get one exception, I believe. Okay, PP I have done, and then here P dot, and this one is not needed. Here I'll try to print P. Same P I'll try to print. Okay, and then what? Here what I should do? P equals to FP, and then P, remove. Yes, and again try to print P. First time here. Think and answer to my question. Is there anything stored here? In P, is there anything stored here in this line? No, nothing is stored. So what I should get? What type of variable it is? Instance, local, reference, what it is? You should think. That is the reason. What type of variable it is?
Local variable.
Instance variable definition, can anyone tell me? Outside method, inside the class. Local variable is nothing but those variables which are present inside the class and inside the method. Instance, you will change. That is the reason everyone is getting confused. You will come in reverse way. Answer is right. First you will start with outside the method, but we have started with inside the class and outside the method. That we call it as instance. You think and tell me, is it instance or local? Local, of course. It is not a normal variable which will store the value. Rather, it is a reference variable which will store the address. But reference variable also can be instance, or reference variable also can be local. What is this one? It is a reference variable and it is local. Okay, as it is local, if you don't assign a value, can we use in local variable without assigning any values to it? Got it? So first, what I'll do, I'll just assign it to null. It is not compulsory. It is not that you should do it, but for your understanding, I'm doing it. Okay, as I'm printing it, I'm doing it. If I am not printing it, I'll not do that also. Okay. Now we assume that I'll try to compile, no errors. hopefully. And if I try to execute, first I should get null only. If you can see here, first time it was null. Then I have changed the address to cargo plane. So it is pointing to cargo plane. What I have printed? Have I printed CP or P? In print statement, what I have printed? I have printed P.
P.
P only, system.out.println P. So first time I'm getting cargo plane object's address. Next time I'm getting passenger plane because I have written P equals to PP. Means I've copied the address of passenger plane to your plane type reference. And then here, why? Why I'm getting fighter plane? Address of fighter plane object in plane type reference. Clear with this? Yes or no? However, sir, is it compulsory that we should write it like this only? No, you write it like this only, but you should not print it or use it. Okay, now, but however, you will get error, right? Error, initialize, nine. Until and unless we use it, it is okay to write it. Okay, if you are using it, you should initialize with something. Okay, say suppose I have created one local variable, I'm trying to print its value. Will it be initialized with default values? Then by default you will get an error. Why? You have not assigned anything, you are trying to print. How will it print? It will give an error. But if you are not using it, you just created it, if you have not initialized also, that is fine. Okay. Sir, is it the only way, sir? No, just observe here. If you want, you can write it like this also, or otherwise. See here. I'll write plain type. Here only I'll write plain type P. Directly can I store, sir? Yes, I can store. What is this? What we are doing here? Answer it first. Okay. So basically, we can we call this process as upcasting? Upcasting. What do you mean by upcasting first? Anyone?
Creating the object of the static class and storing the secret of the parent class. And this process is known as the class of class. Since we are going to bottom of that.
But I didn't ask class upcasting. My question was not about class upcasting, just upcasting. With respect to data types also it is there, right? In your data types concept also it is there.
When we are going to lower data,
Downcasting means from upper to lower you will come. Upcasting means from lower to upper you will go. Whenever you are doing upcasting, is it required for you to explicitly write something? No, just directly do it, it will accept because you are trying to put 4-liter water in 8-liter container. Will there be any problem? No, you need not write explicitly anything. But whenever you are trying to put 8-liter water in 4-liter container, definitely you should inform, compress this or convert it to ice form. Then you put it. So that will be compressed to 4-liter and then you can put it. So that your data will not be lost at least. Getting my point? Here also, what is this process? This we can call it as upcasting or downcasting? Upcasting. Why? Creating an object of child class and storing it in reference of parent class. Means from down object to upper reference. Yes or no? Upper type reference. Lower type object I am creating and I am storing it in upper type reference. From low to high I am going. That is the reason we call it as upcasting. Is that clear? But however, here I am not using any specialized method. Yes or no? Why I am doing it? Intentionally I am doing it. Okay. Why? Because if you try to access anyways, it will not work. Getting my point? Specialized method, if you try to access it by using, okay, I'll explain you the concept. Tomorrow I'll, being frank, today my plan was to finish polymorphism. Okay, I wanted to finish your polymorphism concept today, but anyways, it didn't happen. That is totally fine. But tomorrow, for sure, I'll finish and I'll go for abstraction. In between, there are some concepts like access modifiers. What is the usage of private, public, that, and rules of overridden methods, and then I'll go for abstraction. Okay, sorry. Design pattern, not needed. As of now, not needed. Next word, sir. Next word. If you ask me, as I've already told, assume that there is one. Okay, forget about the concept. Think about real world example. I'll come to real time example. One simple example. Specialized methods means what? What was that? Smoking, drinking, and swimming. Swimming, you forget for now. Assume that your father or okay, your father is not having a habit of smoking. Okay, only you have. You think and tell me. Will anyone like that come and say you are smoking same to same like your father? Is it practically a valid statement? He knows about you also. He knows about your father also. Only you are smoking. He also knows that. Your father does not smoke. He also knows that. All of a sudden, if he comes and say you are smoking same like your father, is it practically valid? Statement itself is wrong. Why? By chance, if your father was smoking, if he is also having a common habit, then there is a chance, or we can accept that it might be true. It may be true. But father means parent class, refer it with your parent. Assume that you are having height somewhere around 6. Your father is also having height somewhere around 6. Then if someone comes and say your height is same to same like your father, then we can accept. Why? It is inherited. Your parents is also having that much, you are also having that much. Fine. Assume that your father is having brown eyes, you also got brown eyes. Then we can say that your eyes are similar to your father's. But if you put a contact lens, then also we can say how initially he was having a similar color of eyes just like his father, but later he modified it. But there is no habit, that is smoking habit is not there in your parent class. All of a sudden, if someone say that you are smoking same to same like your father, is it a valid statement at least? No. When it can be valid? When father, I mean parent class is also having that habit, that is smoking, then we can say that it is valid statement. There might be a chances that it is valid, but it is not there only in your parent class. So whenever there is some method, okay, which is not there in your parent class, only in child class it is there. That we call it as specialized method. You think and tell me, specialized method, can I access it using parent type reference? Specialized method, refer it using parent class? No. Inherited, can I refer? Yes, because it came from parent to child. Overridden, can I refer? Yes, already I told you. It came from parent to child. Later, child modified it, but it came from parent only. But specialized, can I refer? No. Directly, it will give an error saying that what? What is the error? Type mismatch. Okay, or the if you want to see that, I wanted to show that, but hopefully I'll finish it for today because you guys should try for animal class. Getting? Can I expect all of you to send the output by end of the day? Which output? Animal class. Okay, one corner of your screen you put your output, another corner of your screen, I mean remaining part of the screen should be main method. Main method of that animal class should be displayed. Getting my point? Same to same method, but here I removed one specialized method, right? There are two versions. exactly in polymorphism there are two words. Now for today, go and try only for this program as well as next one, that is animal program. For starting polymorphism, which is the first program I have considered? Plain. And then, okay, today from where we have started? Plain class, and then animal class, and then parent child. And then I went with delegation model, and then I wanted to discuss aggregation composition, but today it will not be possible. Hopefully, after finishing polymorphism, I'll go with aggregation composition. Fine. That is not much important, but you should know. Is also again one such concept wherein as of now it may not be going ahead later. Once you get a job, definitely it will be of use. Getting my point? For today, I'll end it here. Again, today also I don't think I'll be able to send the people. I'll try doing it, but remaining ones tomorrow for sure. Fine. Today I'll send few, at least one or two I'll send. Okay. Fine. Then for today I'll be winding up here. Fine. Thank you everyone.